Hello, everybody. Rod is running a few minutes late. He had to go pick up his son from practice. So he will be here, but he is running a few minutes late. So for now, you get just the ladies. I am Kat, the Nurse Flipper. I'm joined by Katey Reads. Katey has filled in. Katey has filled in for me before, actually. And below us is Rachel Strickland. So both of these ladies have been on before. You should know them. If not, Marsha will drop the links to their channels, and it's down in the description below. So I know I really don't know what Rod's doing. So I'm going to make Rachel big, then Katey. So if you guys have shows or anything coming up too, let them know your whatnot shows. All right, here's Rachel.
Hey guys, I'm Rachel Strickland. I'm obsessed with reselling and working from home and trying to educate other people how to do the same thing because I learned for free on YouTube how to do that. So find me on YouTube, Rachel Strickland. You can find me on Whatnot, also Rachel Strickland. I think I'm basically that across all platforms. If you search it, you'll find me. And I have a Whatnot show tomorrow night. It's going to be a raid train with some of my most awesome friends. It's a Gulf Coast Pickers raid train. I will be on at 10 o'clock Central. So check that out on my Whatnot.
Perfect. Here's Katey.
Hi guys, my name is Katey. I resell used books and ephemera on multiple platforms, and I talk about that on my channel on YouTube. You can find me pretty much anywhere except Macari. I'm not on Macari yet, but I'm getting there. I have a Whatnot show tomorrow. I'm going to be doing antique and vintage books. That's going to be at 3 o'clock tomorrow, so if that's something you're into. And essentially, I just do anything and everything books related, ephemera related. I run a free book pickup service, so I talk about that a lot on my channel. It's one of my primary sources of income. So yeah, find me on Instagram and social media and all that fun stuff.
Perfect. All right. Thank you, Marsha. You guys, if you haven't, I don't have the link ready. I suck. I'm going to get it now. If you haven't checked out Marsha Red Cardinal Treasures, definitely do that. She is the main mod here on the channel for me, and she's been putting up videos that I've bugged her forever to do. So she only has 358 subscribers. So I think we could get her over 500 tonight. So here I'm going to put Marsha channel, and I will put the link for you. There it is. Because she doesn't share her own channel. She should. And I don't care if she does, but she does not. See, she's editing her next 3 now. So there's Marsha's channel. Please go show her some support. She does so much for me and for the channel. Look, he decided to come. He
Sorry,
guys.
I apologize. My stepson's football, they're doing like football camp, and it rained here, and they literally ran late. I literally just got back from picking them up, so I apologize.
We just went live like a minute ago, so we haven't even done any questions. So okay. That's perfect. All right. So let's see what we've got first. So Unique Vintage says, what is the best way to list new old stock? For those of you that don't know, that is what new NOS is. New old stock on eBay when the item itself is new, but the packaging is soiled and only given new or used as your condition options. What do you choose?
I don't know if it's the best way, but the way I would do it was still listed as new. The item is still new, but I would definitely detail that, show pictures. I like to use my finger in the pictures. I know some people edit arrows into there or a circle or something. Just ensure that people know that the packaging is damaged, especially the fact that some new old stock is a collectible item and they might want the packaging, but the item is still new. So given the option between new and used, I'd say new.
Yeah, absolutely. I would still say new as well. And again, just detail in the description. And I guess essentially when it comes to new old stock, a lot of people the packaging really is just more about the protection of the item, but some collectors want the actual packaging as well with the stickers and all that on it. So also make sure you're not removing any previous retail stickers. I mean, a Goodwill sticker you'll want to remove, but leave the previous retail stickers on there too. That would probably be the only other thing I would mention.
Yeah, so I would list it as new as well, but I would put a, maybe in my title, I'd put like at the very end, put a read or with like stars on the side of it. So make sure they do read the description of it. But I do a lot of collectibles, and sometimes the packaging is actually worth more than the actual item. Even if the item is soiled, even if the package is damaged, people still want that because they still will put it on display, and they still, because sometimes you can't find. So, you know, it is common, especially in older items, especially like 50s and 60s, 70s, even like video game stuff where the boxes will be beat up, ripped, torn, and they still will bring great money because they're damaged, even though it's brand new.
I'm going to go against the grain and go against all three of them and say I would put it as used. Just because there's so many finicky people, I would choose used for condition, but I would put new old stock in my title. That is how I would do it, because people are ridiculous. And collectors can be really, really particular about their items. So that is what I would do. I would list it as used, but put new old stock in the title. That's how I would handle it. All right. Diane said, I know most of you delete your photos ASAP. Do you ever find the need to retake photos much later, like when you're ending and selling similar? I don't want to pull out items to retake photos. What are your thoughts?
I've been reselling for 9 years, and I've never, not one time ever, went back and needed a photo that I took 3 weeks ago, a week ago. Like, I can already tell you cats probably disagree up there, but I've never.
My sting. I was smiling about my.
Oh, it was something else. Yeah, but what I do regret is not deleting them immediately, because my phone stays full, and then I go to take pictures of my kids or something that's actually more important than my stock photos, and there's not space on there. Delete your stuff the second before you get up from your desk. Delete it.
Yeah, I've been reselling 5 years, and there's only been a couple times where I maybe didn't, because I was learning a new niche of antique books, so I maybe didn't take the most pictures that I could have of something, but it wasn't a matter of needing what I already took. It was a matter of just having to take more, because I was getting repeat questions about the same book, and I was like, you know what, this would be solved if I just took some more photos. So that was the only situation that I really had with photos. I delete them right away. I would say the only photos that I wish I had are some of the sold listings that I never took a screenshot of, that I wish I still kind of had, that were from 2-3 years ago. Those are the only photos that I wish I still had, I guess.
So I'm with Rachel here. Delete them because they fill up my phone and they take up a lot of space. But here's a big thing: if you guys are cross listing with either Vendu or This Perfectly or whatever cross listing app you guys use, you will have all your photos saved in there. So you don't have to worry about that. You know, you're going to have your photos saved in there for as long as you have the program. So also too, if you delete them off your iPhone, they sit in your deleted folder for 30 days. If you ever need to go back, or if you miss one, I've done that before. I uploaded my items and realized I missed the photo and I delete it, but you can just go back and pull it back out. But once I have my items up listed, and even if a buyer reaches out to me and asks me for additional pictures, I don't give them additional pictures, because I'll take a picture from all angles and it goes right in my inventory system. And majority of the time I used to take the items out and take additional pictures for people, and then they never buy it. So it's just a waste of my time. So when I have it up there, it's up there, but I make sure I take good photos. Now, if there's something that I miss or if I had bad photos up there, I will fix that. But I mean, moving forward in my business, I don't really do that anymore. So I don't really have any issues like that.
Yeah. So I delete immediately after I posted. So the thing with you, and Rod kind of said, make sure you take good photos. So this is the only thing: when you're ending and selling similar, maybe you've gotten better at taking photos. And if that's the case, then you need to pull the item back out and take new photos if you notice that you could improve upon them. Other than that, I've never had a reason to retake them. But if you notice that your pictures are getting better, then do it. And I don't pull out, like, maybe if it's like a over $100 item, I might take extra pictures for them. If it's under, I'm not gonna do it. I'm just, because I've learned the same thing. Like, you do all this and they're like, oh, never mind, thanks. And I'm like, okay,
thanks for the
like,
photos.
no, I just spent all this. I know, I just spent all this time. So yeah. All right. Miss Linda says, when sourcing large lots, either books or other items, what is the minimum amount you will list after you pull the higher dollar items?
It kind of depends for me on how interested I am in that niche. I know it's written, but like, I'm going to list, if it's Lego, I'll list every $5 little piece, but maybe something else I might want to lot up to minimum $20 or something. That being said, I sourced 432 cookbooks from an auction. I paid $25 for the entire lot. And I listed those all the way down to $5.99, $10.99. Those continued to be almost a residual source of income for a year and a half. So I'm glad that I did all of that work up front and I didn't say, hey, nothing under $20, I'm not going to list it. I did a video on my channel once looking at sales under $30 because the average sales price on eBay is $30. So if you only appeal to $30 or more, then you're missing the majority of eBay buyers. So I don't think that you should try to be a large stuff only or big ticket item only seller. That being said, it does have to be worth your time. So this could be a bit personal, but if I'm super interested in the niche or the category, I'll list all the way down to $5.99 with, plus shipping.
Yeah, so large sourcing lots, I mean, that's what I do all day, every day. I've already had 2 pickups today and I just got back from vacation. So it's my house is a mess already again. So I have the luxury of running eBay and Amazon parallel. So I do everything. I scan everything for Amazon first. It goes off to the FBA warehouse. It doesn't stay here with me. So that, happens first. And then after that, things get reviewed for eBay. I do have a certain dollar amount that I like to have for eBay. And then I have the additional luxury of having Whatnot. So anything that doesn't go on eBay goes on Whatnot after that. And I can start it at $1 because it, I've already made my money. I can give some good deals to people. Other resellers can buy off of me. And so that's kind of how I approach that. So I do try and utilize everything in the lot. I mean, especially because I'm a free book pickup service, so I have no cost of goods into it. So especially if you're paying for those lots, yeah, you should try and, get as much as you can from the lot. That's, I guess, my opinion. But again, yes, has to be worth your time. And you have to decide what that dollar amount is, what your metrics are that work for you.
Yeah. So usually when I buy a big lot, I try to usually go by the 80-20 rule where I get 80% of my money from 20% of the items, every time I do that. So I can get back a big portion of my investment just from a couple items. And then from there, depends my minimum will vary based on the item. I'm just like Rachel, where if I'm interested in it, or if there's something that I want to potentially learn about, I'll list a lot of those items up there. But if something I have no interest in, I will pull out the big items and sell off, either locally, try to sell off the lot to maybe another reseller who's interested in those. And I'll give you an example. Like I just bought a CD lot for $30. It was all like punk and rock and metal CDs. What I did was I pulled out all the ones that were like $20 or $15 or more and list those individually. But then what I did was I broke those down to mini lots where it was a certain band where, those CDs might go for $5-6 a piece. I put those in lots of 5 or 6, so I get $15-20, just like I would the other ones. And then I would do that, break those down to mini lots. And then when I was done doing that, I had like 40 or 50 CDs left over. I'll just put that one giant lot and list that. So there's many ways to do it. You just have to see. I think the biggest thing is how much time do you want to invest in it, because time is money. So I try not to invest a lot of time. So I try to break it down where I can still make a profit, but just try to maximize my profit just based on the amount of time I'm using.
Yeah. So for me, it's a little bit different because I have multiple employees. So I've recently switched it to $25 is what I'm trying to list it at my listed price for. I'll still accept offers a lot of times down to 20, but with paying employees to list, it just, for me, doesn't make sense under 25. So I'll try and lot 2 or 3 items up. Like I love picking up athletic wear like Nike. So instead of like 1 tank top, I'll make sure I could pick up 2 tank tops and lot them together for that $25 or $30 price point. And then I can still buy the stuff. I don't know what, like I love picking up athletic clothes, but a lot of that I need too. But a lot of times there is multiple of the same size because the same person donated. So that is what I've been doing. I still, if it's a fast sell-through rate though, I'll still list them 15 and up. And there's always stuff that I absolutely love that I pick up that I list that breaks the rules. So I don't think you need like a hard and fast set rule, because there's going to be stuff that's going to fall outside of that. And like people are like, I thought you said you're only and I'm like, yeah, but I really like this. So I picked it up. And you know what? I can, right? It's your business. You can do what you want. But my main like overall rule is the 25, but there's some stuff that I just love and I pick it up and it's worth $15 and it is what it is. So,
now you got me curious. How would everyone on the panel? What is if you have that rule, like a minimum amount you want to list? What is something that breaks that rule? Like Kat, like what's for you? Like what breaks that rule?
I'm trying to think of stupid Tervis cups, man. The dang Tervis cups. I have a problem with Tervis cups. Tervis cups is one, and I don't like. I have a ton in my house too. It's not like just a reselling thing. It's like I like Tervis cups. So that's like the big thing that because they're in every single thrift store.
Yeah.
I am trying to be pickier. I don't pick them all up anymore, but that's the big one for me that comes over and over.
Yeah, mine would probably be mid-century stuff because a lot of times I find stuff I just want to save it. It might not be worth $5 or $10, but I have to save mid-century.
I would say anything Halloween or horror related, just because that's one of my favorite, little things. So, a Halloween postcard or ephemera or, a card, a pack of cards from, whatever, I think I did a new sealed recently, Addams Family VHS that you got through McDonald's. Back in the day, McDonald's gave VHSs.
Yeah,
I sold that for $6. It wasn't worth a ton of money, but it's Halloween, it's Addams Family, it's, it makes me happy. So, I would say anything like Halloween horror related. I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. So
yeah,
I will sell the cheap stuff.
Yeah, mine's vintage toys. I just can't leave them behind. Like I see them out there, like, if I'll pay $10 and sell for 20, like I don't care. Like, it's one of those things where it needs to go. I would rather curate that and bring that to a collector who's going to appreciate it than let that thing out there. And people complain on my videos, oh, you're not making any money off that. I don't care. You know what I mean? For me, like it's a passion project. So I'm already there. I'm already out there. It doesn't take any extra time to do it. It takes me, a couple minutes to listen and ship it, but I love toys, so I can't leave them behind.
That makes sense for sure. All right, Philbert, I looked this up for you, and there's not an easy answer on how to identify celluloid. I would watch some videos. Bakelite you can test with semichrome. Celluloid you can't. It looks like it's like color, transparency. I feel like it's going to almost be like lucite, where once you know the items and the type of things, you'll learn exactly what it looks like and feels like. So I would recommend maybe searching on YouTube for some videos on how to identify it. But when I looked it up, there's not a way like semichrome with Bakelite for celluloid, unfortunately. All right. Teacher Treasure Chest says, I just began my YouTube channel and I'm wondering how I can get more than 10 subs. I'm not trying to make money, but how long does it take to get people to notice you? I enjoy making the videos.
I think that could be different for everyone. There's not a set time that it takes people to notice you, but in order for people to not only notice, because you want that notice to be in a positive light, you need to be injecting some type of value into the community, whether it's entertainment or education. It could be either. You could be the most entertaining reseller and we all want to watch you and you show up in everyone's chats and you're just so entertaining and energetic and fun to talk to. Or you could be the most educational reseller and you are answering every question that Kat doesn't get to in her show. She'd probably love that. At the end of the show, if you're down there helping people, show up and people start seeing Teacher Treasure Chest every single Tuesday and they start seeing it on other people's shows and like really be a part of the community that you want to notice you. I think that would be my biggest thing. Just give, and eventually that'll come back to you.
Yeah, that's good advice. I think it just comes down to why you're starting the channel. You said it's not monetary driven. So just find your why with it. I mean, that's like anything else. And another thing is, I mean, there's software out there that can help you from an analytical, side. It can help you with understanding tags and good titles and good thumbnails and things like that. So platforms like Canva are a really good way to create thumbnails completely for free. You've got TubeBuddy. So like there's different tools out there to kind of make your channel look nice, because aesthetic does matter a little bit. There is a little bit of a psychology behind that. And then just branding. I would say anything on social media, decide your name and make sure your branding is consistent throughout all those social media platforms. So that way, if someone likes you on Instagram and wants to find your channel, it's a really easy thing to find you. So I that just comes from having a graphic design sister and learning a lot along the way from her that has helped me a lot. So that would be another little suggestion I would give.
I think what both of them said was great advice. It does. Here's the thing. One of the good things I would say is based on what you put in the question there, that you're not doing it for monetary reasons. Because if you're just doing it for the money, it's never going to work out. Because you don't make money on YouTube for a very long time. Even if you do get a following on there, and you're going to spend more hours, more time into it. So you have to have a passion. You have to love it. Rachel talked about being educational or entertainment. I think you need to pick a lane to stay in one or the other, because that will help you. But also too, don't be all over the place. If you're going to do it, and if you're going to focus, don't put stuff up about dogs one day and then next day put up stuff about reselling, and then next day you're putting up stuff about farming. You want to make sure that you have a set path of what you're trying to do. Also too, your thumbnails and your titles are going to be the most important thing, because you can put up the best video in the entire world, and if your thumbnails and titles look horrible or don't make any sense, no one's going to click on those videos to watch it. So I highly recommend going on YouTube, watch videos on how to do good thumbnails and good titles, because it will help you dramatically on there. But you just got to grind, put your nose to the ground and put in there, set little goals for yourself. Maybe hope to get 50 views in a video, and then I'd build up, get 100 views in a video, and just keep going from there. But just set many goals for yourself so you have something to work to. But it's a grind. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of hard work, but we're always here to help. So if you have any questions, feel free to come back each week. And everyone in the chat, click on their name, give them a follow, because if anyone here has a YouTube channel, you know how difficult it is getting started. So
yeah, for sure. And I would say too, don't look at big channels and what thumbnails and titles are working for them, because they're working for them a lot of times because they're already known. I remember they were talking about Pete, and they said Pete could put like "my cat is brown" and he would get 100,000 views. So there are people that have built up for years, and it doesn't matter what they put up, because their community's invested in them at that point. And if you go try and copy that, it doesn't work, because you don't have your community built up yet. I still really put a lot, trying to get good titles and thumbnails. I don't feel like I'm at the point where I could say "my cat is brown" and you would all watch it. So think about searchability as far as your title, like what people are searched. TubeBuddy is I use TubeBuddy too. Katey was saying, and on your thumbnails, you want something to make them interested, to make them want to watch it. You don't want to give everything away in the title. And the thumbnail, I have been doing that quite a bit more. Sometimes less is more, but you have to get their interest before you do that. And I will tell you, for probably the first 6 months of my channel, I spent about 40 hours a week in chats just like this. Everybody that was live in the reselling community, I was there, and I was doing exactly what Rachel said. So like Josh, Harry Tornado, if he was live and had 300 people in there, I knew he couldn't get to all the questions. I would answer them. And I was there every single time. And everybody is like, everywhere I go, there you are. They saw my name over, and I probably annoyed the crap out of them, because literally everywhere they went, I was there. So if it, I know Derek Fundamentals of Hustling has his live show. Buffalo Picker, who was just on, has a reselling show on Sunday nights. So find all those live shows and go into them. And exactly like Rachel said, you want to be in their face so much, they you're annoying them, but then they know your name, right? They're like, that teacher treasure chest everywhere I go. Same thing with comments. Comment on videos of creators that are in your niche. If you're doing more vintage, comment on them And same thing, they're seeing your name. So they're down there scrolling in the comments and they see your name over and over and over. And it takes a long time. Oda Lally is here, and she has both her, where is she? Oh, there she. I have to click 5 things to click the right one. So like she has her vintage channel, and then she also has a cooking channel. So she split them, and that's what Rod was saying. Unless you're doing like a totally vlog style that is everything in your life, you need to stay in a lane, because YouTube doesn't know who to show your videos to if you're doing, like he said, and jumping all over the place. And it's a lot of time. It's a lot of time. And I know you said it's not monetary, but like for me, at some point when I'm putting in 40 hours a week, 40 hours a week, 40 hours a week, I want to get paid. I'm not going to lie and tell you guys I don't want to get paid. I want to get paid. So yeah, so just keep that in mind. It's a lot of time with amazing, like the community, the support is, and actually I'm gonna throw something in the chat right now. Speaking of this, I do not know these people. I have never met them. I've never seen them. I just dropped a GoFundMe. Vintage Uprising Texas here on YouTube lost every single thing they own, including their inventory, in a house fire last week, guys. I saw it because I follow multiple resellers, and if I have the opportunity to help them eat, I do not know them. I do not know them, but I posted that because I can imagine like losing one or the other, your house or your business, but losing both at the same time would be horrible. Yeah, so if you guys can help them, please do. Again, I don't know them, and Vintage Uprising Texas is their name here on YouTube. LaDonna knows them. You can give them a follow here on YouTube. They are posting like updates of what they're doing. They posted before. I did watch their before and after, and it was incredibly sad to see swung vases melted on the mantle, guys. It's not fun. So speaking of community, I'm going to throw that up there. If you can help, please do. Any little bit, I'm sure, will be appreciated. And we're going to go to LaDonna's question for Rachel. Rachel, have you put all your Legos together yet?
Forever no. Just like write it on my tombstone. She still has Lego sets to build. She's talking about this buy. I just bought someone's 40-year collection. But even like in my personal life, I probably have a dozen sets that have been purchased for me or that I bought that I'm behind on. I'll forever be building Lego.
Yeah, I told people, because Dalton's not really into like any particular thing right now, and I'm like, I might regret this, but I'm gonna say Legos, because he's turning 6, so I think it's a good age that he'll be able to work with the smaller ones, you know. And I'm like, I might regret this when I'm stepping on them next week.
I've never stepped on Lego in my house, and both my kids have played with them.
So when you finish them, what do you do with them, Rachel? Do you sell them off, or do you keep them for?
I have a Lego city. There's not a room in my house that doesn't have a Lego build of some sort in it. Like the flowers on my kitchen table are Lego. There's Lego everywhere.
That's awesome, though. All right. Miss Judy says, if you were listing sterling flatware, would you polish it before taking pics?
Is it 50% tarnished or worse, or 50% tarnished or better? I'm going to judge this by a glass half full. If it's more tarnished than it's not, shine it up a little bit. Okay. That being said, don't take all day trying to do it. There are I have a video out, a very early video of how to do an entire tray at one time with like baking soda and hot water.
Tin foil.
Yeah, and like tin foil in the pan. It's super easy. So if it's not like horrible, I sold some sterling though. I got $1,000 out of the set and I didn't polish it. But it was that 50% or greater. It wasn't very tarnished.
Yeah, I've never polished it just out of fear. It's not my niche. So I don't want to make anything worse or do things the wrong way. And yeah, and really just about time. So I'm willing to take a little bit less if that means, just again, back to time. It's not my niche. I'm comfortable with that. And most of the sterling that I've sold has been, you know, like a craft sales, flea markets, like that type of thing. Not so much online, but that's my experience with it.
First thing I would do is call Kat and ask her. But if she wasn't available, I wouldn't just leave it go. I wouldn't do it. If someone gets something, they'll be able to do what they want with it. But that's always my first go-to. So.
Yeah, I would not, because a lot of vintage, no matter how tarnished it was, a lot of vintage buyers either A, like the tarnish, or B, want to polish it themselves, is what I found. So I don't touch it. I did once just because I wanted to see like the before and after, but I've never done it again. All right. I don't know who is using the List Perfectly mobile app besides me. Is anybody else on the panel using it besides me?
Been do.
So Patty, the only, and it's not an app, it's on the web browser. I'm going to see if I can pull it up real quick. The only thing I do on there is add my photos into the Express Lister. So if you go, I'm charging my phone, it's almost dead. If you go to the main menu, all I do on there is hit add listing, and then you can add the photos to build it. I'm going to show you. And I didn't show the phone on the video that I did. But all I do is go create listing with the little Express Lister, which is on the bottom. So phone. So if you see the little Express listing, you click that, and then I hit add photos, and then I go to the next, and then we go to the computer because it's easier after that. So once we create the listings on the phone, we do everything else on the computer just because it's easier to see and easier to navigate. And see, these questions keep coming up that make me put things in the chat. Guys, this has never been done here before, but I'm giving away 10 of you a free month of List Perfectly right now. Putting it in the chat, first 10 people to click it, $70 value for free from me and List Perfectly. You cannot have used it before. You have to be a new user. That is the only caveat. So the first, I'm not doing a random pick. I put the link, first 10 of you to click it and use it, you get a full month free, including the Pro, and you can upgrade to the Pro Plus. It's free, and do the AI listings by photos only, which is all we're doing now. And nice. I timed it this weekend, and I did jewelry, I did vintage items, and I did purses and clothes. And I had 10 listings in under 30 minutes created, like completely. Wow. And that's editing the photos and everything. So it's really, really, really fast. Don't put it, click it. I put the link. We're not entering. I'm giving it to you. You click it. You have it. Click it. You get it. The first 10 people to click it, get it. You will not be charged for 30 days.
No, guys, don't write in the chat. You have to click the link that she dropped.
I'm putting it again. Again. You have to click the link. Did the link show in the chat all the way, Katey?
Yeah, it did.
It did. You guys have to click the link.
They're so used to we do a weekly giveaway. They just have to type stuff in, so that's why they got a little confused this week.
I know, because they gave me 10. This is like unprecedented. I pinned the message. They gave me 10 free months to give away. You must be a new user. Thank you, Marsha. So try it. Patty, reach out to me and let me know exactly, because I've been using it myself. So I'm happy to help you on Instagram or on Facebook if you need help navigating it. But I only use like the Express Lister on there. Everything else I do on the computer. All right. Let's see. We did that one. Russell said, can each of us give some advice on how to stay positive and keep listing when the great summer slowdown has got you down from slow or no sales for days at a time?
Advice on, I feel like those are two different things, because advice on staying positive and advice on keep listing. I'm going to tackle the second part first, because sometimes you have to keep listing when you're not positive. Sometimes you have to drag yourself out of bed and you know, for me, put up your hair and deal with it. Like Russell's probably a little bit different, but you know what I mean? Like you would pull yourself up out of that slump to work for someone else's business. You would never wake up when you got to clock in with someone and say, I just don't feel it today. I'm just really feeling down. Like treat your business like your business. You have to be the boss, but you also have to be the employee. So don't give someone else in their business more respect than you would give your own business. You know, when things slow down, start researching how can I possibly make some more sales. It may be a good time if you haven't explored other platforms, because I feel like summer slowdown is more prevalent on eBay than anywhere. Guess where it's not really slowing down? Over on Whatnot, where people are buying all the time at 3 o'clock in the morning because it's infomercial time. You know what I mean? Like get creative if you need to get creative. Have those sales. But definitely don't give up on your business when things get tough, because, you know, I've said it before. If you don't clock into your dreams, you'll be forced to clock into someone else's. Like it's not dreamy all the time. Sometimes it is tough, and sometimes you're not going to always be positive, and it won't always be rainbows. But try to remind yourself why you started. Remind yourself why you're doing this, why you want to be self-employed, because if you give up now, then what is the other option? You're going to go to work for somebody else? No, like you didn't come this far to only come this far. Okay. I'm trying to give you lots of little nuggets here, Russell. Write these down if you need to. Put them all over your office and cheer for yourself. But even more than anything else, do the work even when it doesn't feel good, even when it sucks. You don't get a sick day maybe, or, you know, you just don't feel it because sales are slow. Do something, create some sales, some markdowns, list, because that definitely incites sales. And yeah, explore some new platforms.
So I'll try not to repeat too much of what Rachel said, because I agree with a lot of it. I've been a reseller for 5 years. I've been 100% full-time working for myself in a lot of different ways, more than just reselling, for the past 2 years. And to say that I can stay positive every single day it's hard. It's really hard when it's on you to pay the bills. It's on you to make everything happen. And it's very hard. It's hard when you have kids. It's hard when you don't have kids. It's hard when you have pets. It's hard when you don't have pets. It's hard when you have older parents that you're taking care of. It's hard when you don't have older parents you're taking care of. Life is, you know, ever changing. And so there's going to be times where I had to just lean into not feeling good and explore why I didn't feel good. Was it imposter syndrome? Was it self-doubt? Was it comparison? Was I doing a comparison game? When I leaned into the bad feeling, it helped me realize this is really stupid, and I was able to change it to a positive feeling. But then sometimes when I leaned into the bad feeling, I'm like, wow, this is something I really need to work on and explore, because this career and this lifestyle is something I want in the long run. So I have to work on me. So I do encourage leaning into the bad feelings sometimes and figuring out how to make it a positive. And then honestly, for me, when I'm not in the mood to list, or when I'm having a hard time because I'm not getting that instant gratification because sales are slow, or, you know, whatever, I turn on a podcast that gives me comfort. I turn on an audiobook that gives me comfort. I have it in the background and I keep pushing through. You know, maybe I have a piece of cheesecake because it's been a rough day. That's my reward after I list 20 items. I'm not joking. Like, you know, it's just the comfort things that keep me motivated. And, you know, I will say that I was my own limitation. I was not really cross-posting and doing what I could. And once I started cross-posting and got over my love-hate relationship with Amazon and Etsy and Mercari and all the things, that made a huge change in my business. And, you know, it keeps me motivated, because maybe it's slow on eBay, but I made 6 sales today on Amazon, or I made a sale on Etsy, or my bookmarks are flying off the shelves on Etsy, and eBay was a little slow today, but that's okay. You know, that I need that win every day. And so cross posting helped me at least get that win every day. So I would just say lean into the bad and see if you can make it a positive. And then if you can't, it could still be constructive of figuring out, how do I, work through this? If this is what you really want, how do you work through it? Because, life's a roller coaster,
So for years, I would have my summer slowdown and I would go through the emotional roller coaster like everyone else did, where, my sales are up, my sales are down. It's depressing. You don't want to list, you want to do stuff. And then one year I had the bright idea. I said, you know what? Screw this. I need to change my mindset. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make my, I want to have the best fourth quarter ever. So I started in July and August as my prepping time for the fourth quarter. Because if my sales are slow, that means I don't have to spend my days packing items. I don't spend my day shipping items. That means I can just focus on listing. So what I did was I set listing goals for July and August to list as many items as I possibly can. But so I will tell you, by doing that 1 year, my fourth quarter, I had the best fourth quarter I've ever had in my entire life. And ever since then, I just changed my mindset now. Now it's my fourth quarter prep time. So my summer slowdown is my time to prep for the fourth quarter, because if you can get as many items listed as possible, when Christmas season comes around, you are going to be set up for success. So that's the way I look at it now. Also, too, change your environment, because you do the same thing over and over again is the definition of insanity, and think you're going to have different results. So pick up your laptop, bring your phone, go to a coffee shop, go to the park, do listing there, because if you change your environment, you can change your attitude, you can change how you feel. That's a big component of what I do. I do lists from my pool area. I list from my house. I list from different rooms in my house. I change up the environment. I list when my dog's there. I list when my dog's not there, because I can be a pain in the butt, as you see in my videos. But, it's,
my cats like to lay on the laptop.
So
and
you
touch
have
the
to
screen.
You just have to continue almost to trick your mind or do different little things that really help yourself out. And, keep a list of why, if you write down why you're doing what you do and know why, read that list every single day before you start listing. I know that if I don't list, I'm going to have to get a job and have to work for someone else. And I'm going to make someone else's dream come true, not my own dream. I absolutely love staying at home every single day to play with my dogs throughout the day, play with my cats. Anytime my stepson needs something, I'm there because I can work around his schedule. My wife needs something, I'm there because I can work around her work schedule, because she works as a nurse. So her schedule changes each week. I have the flexibility to do and pick and choose what I want to do. I do not want to lose that, because my family is the most important thing to me. So by doing these things, write that down. If I read that every single morning, I'm just going to hit the ground rolling, because I have a purpose in what I'm doing. So if you don't have a purpose, that's really going to stop you. You're going to be more prone to getting depressed. You're going to be more prone to, not want to put in the time and effort to work things. You have to have a purpose for what you do. If you don't, you're setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah, so it's really easy for this to happen. We're up 1% from last month, 1%, but I'm happy it's in the green. I went through several stints where I didn't feel like listing, and I end up with 100 drafts or more because I have employees drafting them and I don't feel like listing, because it can definitely be hard. I would say that I'm like the link dropper tonight. I'm trying to take Marsha's job. I dropped Mel Robbins. I will tell you, she is a potty mouth. I will tell you, if you know me outside of my videos, I am as well. I will tell on myself. Katey knows. Rod knows too. I was married to a sailor before, and I fit that. But Mel Robbins, or find a good Steve Harvey is amazing too. I love him. Find a motivational speaker. When I was really down and like having a hard time struggling mentally, I started listening to motivational speakers. I actually had Mel Robbins on today because I was folding clothes, because I didn't want to fold the friggin' clothes. And the clothes need to be folded, just like your listings need to go up. Even if you're not having sales, you need to feed that algorithm to give it a chance to get sales. So listening to those motivational speakers really helped me a lot. It was probably like a year and a half ago, and I was listening to them like 8 hours a day, just to like pump myself up. Now I'm doing okay. But I had Mel on earlier, folding clothes, and it's hard. It is really hard. Like Rod said, it is an emotional roller coaster, but I try and look at like the average over the month or over the week. You know, if you have a bad couple of days, it happens. But it's hard when it's like a whole week, right? You're like, ugh. And that's when just get more listings up. And I definitely see, I might not have as many sales. It might still be less, but I definitely get more when I'm listing more. You know, there's definitely a direct correlation to that. And I would also, I don't know how much inventory you have in your death pile. List items that are high sell-through rate first. So that way you're more likely to get sales. If you're checking the sell-through rate and it's 50% or higher, those are items that are gonna sell fast. And yeah, Marsha's right. Go take a vacation for 3 days. You know, sales are slow anyways. Hopefully, I don't need to take a pill. I just need to listen to people yell at me and tell me to get off my butt and do what I need to do. That's like the podcast I listened to today was
It's
the $1 million.
Funny, but it's true. That really is how Kat works, guys. Like it's funny, but it's true.
It is very true. I listened to the $1 Million Morning. Yeah, go thrifting with Kat, because Kat's absolutely ridiculous. If you're in Florida, you're more than welcome to. If you're in my area. Marsha and Elena both go thrifting with me. But yeah, like Steve Harvey yells too. I like the yellers. I like yell at me. A lot of people, Tony Robbins is a yeller too. But some people don't need that. Some people need like mellow, soothing. You know what you need and what motivates you. I need somebody yelling at me and saying, get off your butt and do it whether you want to or not. Because I don't want to go back to the hospital. I don't want to not be able to take Dalton to school every day and pick him up every day. You know, I want to be able to do that. And I think about that regularly. You know, I wouldn't be able to be here hanging out if I would, you know. All right. Squirrely Reseller says, important alert. She said, Kat, get off your soapbox. I bought a signed photo on eBay. It arrived today. The date printed on the back was 2004. The person died in 1993, so he didn't sign it. The seller did refund. So I don't see a question. She's just letting us know. But at least I'm happy to hear the seller refunded and didn't like argue with you. Yeah. I bought some jewelry, like I was sourcing off eBay to sell on eBay and they had said that they were all J. King pendants, and I got them and only one of 4 was. And I'm like, hello, you know, I was like, these are not. And they did the same thing. They refunded me and let me keep them. I chose not to leave feedback. I did not leave them good. I could not in good conscience leave them good feedback because they had erroneously listed things, but I did not leave them negative feedback. I just chose to stay quiet.
So let me talk on this one for 1 second. Only thing I would say is if you guys come across any type of autographs, and I deal with a ton of autographs, I deal with auction houses, and I deal with JSA and other companies getting stuff certified. A lot of stuff you guys will find in the wild is forged. So be very careful. So if you guys do come across stuff, and even if it has a COA, that doesn't mean that it's legit. You know, you look for, so like on JSA and some of the other companies, they'll put a sticker on there and they'll have like a little number on the bottom, and you can actually go to their website and search the number to make sure it is legit. So if you ever guys buy anything, make sure it's certified from a legit company, and then double check the certification through their website. Like if you go through like Major League Baseball and buy something off there, they have a little sticker on there, and you can actually go back to the website and check it and go through. So a lot of stuff you will find is forged out there. It is like $1 billion industry where people forge stuff all the time. So be very, very careful when you do that. So that's why I won't list. Like I'll buy collections, even if I know that it is real, I won't list the item because I don't have the proper certification or the proper information with it. Now, there's other things, you know, there's stuff that you can come across and be like, okay, yeah, no one's going to forge that. There's stuff like that where you know it's real, or if you know the person personally where they got it from. But just be very careful of that, because it's a good way to get your account shut down.
Wow.
Yeah, for sure. All right, here is the whale for you. Let's see. The eclectic element says, has reselling turned you into a collector? And if so, what type of collection or collections do you have?
Yeah. Don't laugh now, guys. It's kind of an expensive collection. I really like designer bags. Well, designer scarves too, like designer jewelry. Yeah, it's kind of a problem. I don't want to sell any of it, even the pieces I buy to resell. I like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Chanel, Givenchy. That's probably something I didn't collect before reselling. But wait a minute. I don't know that it's so much like finding it. It's the money that I make reselling. I couldn't buy myself those things before I started reselling, and now I can. So yes, it's turned me into a collector of very nice designer items, but most of them are secondhand. I'm not that bougie.
Well, I was already a really big book girl before I got into reselling books. But yeah, I mean, especially with books comes ephemera and media and stuff like that. So I find things that I maybe wouldn't have collected before. And so now I kind of have like this weird little, Halloween and oddities and, different things of like postcards and trading cards and things that I wouldn't have really collected before, but I've come across them and I'm like, hey, it's here, so why not? So I don't, I kind of go through things and collect them for a little while. I may resell it later on down the road. Like I have this Stephen King collectible from The Simpsons when he was on an episode of The Simpsons. It's brand new sealed. I know it's worth money, but I like it, so I'm going to hang on to it for a little while. That's stuff that I normally wouldn't have collected before reselling, but it came across during a free book pickup. Someone had it in there and they, were okay giving it to me. So just stuff like that I probably wouldn't have collected before. But books were always a problem, and they're always going to be a problem. So books are always going to be there.
So for me, I was a collector first that turned into a reseller. And the reason for that is growing up, my dad's a factory worker. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. Like, we didn't have a lot of money growing up. So, we were okay. But like, I would get items here and there. And then, when I started collecting items, collections are expensive. As you know, like, you keep trying to level up and level up and level up. So what I found was growing up, where I can go and buy, instead of buying the item I want, I can buy a lot and take out the one item I want for my collection and then sell off the rest of it. And then my collection started getting bigger and bigger. And then I realized, like, wow, I'm building this whole collection for free. I can turn that into now a reselling business. So that's kind of how I get started as a teenager reselling. And for right now, over the years, I've done a lot of collections. So I like the journey, not so much the trophy on the shelf. That's why I was asking Rachel that question earlier. So I like building and getting to completing my set, but then I usually sell stuff off then too, because the journey's over, with it. But I collect video games. See behind me, like I have, you can't see, I have my thing set up there, but I have like probably 1,700 video games. I have, a whole action figure collection from like wrestling figures from the 80s and 90s. I collect sports cards, comic books. And I've sold off those collections. I sold off my NES collection 3 times in like the last 20 years, and then went back to collect it again because I don't know, I had no use for it, and I sold off and I won it back. So I just like the journey of getting items. The collecting process is more fun for me than the actual trophy.
Yeah, so I have just a couple of things, and none are big collections. I love raku pottery, so I have like several pieces on my nightstands. I have like they're almost like worry stones, but they're in raku pottery by Jeremy Diller that I love. I have those. I have a few sand paintings, like Native American sand paintings that I've kept, and it's funny because he's coming in here. Dalton loves nesting dolls, so he has a few nesting dolls. So We do. He just got out of the bath. We do have a few of them. So we watch for nesting dolls when we're outsourcing because he likes the nesting dolls. So he has a little collection of nesting dolls, and everything else I'm okay selling. I'm lucky that like I don't like the designer like stuff that Rachel likes, or I would be in trouble. I do love Kachina. I do love Kachina, but I'm okay with them being up here on the shelf and me looking at them until they sell. And then when they run low, I just go buy more to sell. So it's like a revolving collection. I do display them, though. They don't get put away in boxes. They get put up on my desk so I can look at them. He already has disappeared to the back of the shed. He knows he can't have his phone up loud, so he goes to the other end of the shed while I'm live. But yeah, so a few things, but none of them are like, and if you know me, I'm like, typically I go big or go home. That's the problem. So like, if I did like Louis Vuitton, I would probably have like 50 of them and be broke. So I don't want to love them. So yeah, so I've been good about not having a ton. And I also don't really have anywhere to put a collection. That kind of helps me not get stuff. Like I said, I have like the few things on my nightstand, but yeah. So, but I will display. We have a whole display shelf here in the shed, and the stuff I really like and I want to look at till it sells gets put on there. So that's one way. And you can always price really high if you really, really love something and make it worth it if it sells, right? Like that's just the way to do it. All right. Rhonda wants to know, how did passing the discount for shipping on eBay to the customer work? I'm debating the same, but scared because I'm a part-time seller. So I pulled this up for you. We have been keeping track of like what we charged and what we paid. And most of these this is what we charged and this is what we paid. So you'll see like this one, I lost $11 and that's not counting the fees. This one I lost $15, not counting the fees, but this one I made a little bit. And then yesterday it was $5, but that's not counting the fees. So I'll tell you, I have not noticed an increase in sales since I changed it. So if I still don't by the end of the month, I will revert back to not passing the discount on. Somebody was telling me Julian did the same. He offered the discount, didn't see a difference in sales and turned it back off. And I anticipate that is what I'm going to do, is not pass the discount on. I am leaving it on for 2 more weeks though, because I don't want to like jump the gun and think, too fast. So I'm going to leave it on for about 2 more weeks, but I feel like I probably will end up stopping passing the discount on. Retro Rose, have other sellers noticed an increase in returns in the last 30 days and also in lowball offers? I've had at least a 10% increase in both.
No, but I recently took every single item off of my eBay and have been relisting it. So I might not be the best case study, and I also accept returns. I'll pass that along to Katey.
So I offer free 30-day returns, but I mean 95% of my inventory are books. That is a very low return rate already. So as far as returns, knock on wood, I don't have that problem. Lowball offers, yes. I do not have it turned on. This is just me. Because I don't mind going back and forth. I don't want $1 to automatically decline somebody when maybe I would have been willing to go down that $1 more. So I don't have it set to where if they offer me less than $20, it'll automatically decline. I have offers on and I see everything. It works out for me. It's not as time consuming as I was worried it was going to be. But lately it's been time consuming like I worried it was going to be because I mean, this past week and a half, people have been giving me $6 offers on, a $45 book. It's just, I don't know. It's weird, stupid stuff like that. And obviously I counter. I don't just auto decline anybody unless they say something really rude to me in the message and give me attitude. Then I auto decline. I'll admit that I'm a little petty. But most of the time I counter offer and go back and forth with somebody. And when I counter offer, they kind of get the idea of like where I'm at, and then they'll either go away or they'll counter again. And we kind of go from there. But yeah, I've had weird lowball offers in the past week and a half. But I mean, since the beginning of time, I've always had offers turned on with no minimum. So for 5+ years, having pretty okay offers throughout those 5 years, this last week and a half, it's just been a huge outlier in my reselling career so far. So I don't know what's going on, but people are being weird in the heat, I guess.
So I've had a slight increase in returns, but there were items that I would expect to be returned. It was either clothes that didn't fit, even though I put the proper measurements in there, and they just said it felt a little snug. And then the other returns was electronics, which both are high return categories. So I wouldn't say that's anything out of the ordinary on those. Just happened, coincidence, it just happened at the same time. As for lowball offers, yeah, I always get lowball offers. I think it depends on the category that you sell in. There's certain categories like video games, vintage clothing always gets tons of lowball offers all the time. It just depends what you. But just like she just said, I take every offer. You can send me $1, and I don't have automatic declines on, because the biggest thing is depending on the day of the week you catch me, if I'm having a crappy sales day, I may accept lower offer than what I normally would, because I need to boost, maybe get some sales going for that day. Or you sent me an offer on an item that I forgot I had in my store, has been up for super long, I may just take that offer. But I look at it from a different standpoint, is psychology wise, like if I go to a yard sale, I'm going to probably offer lower than what the person's asking for the item. So why wouldn't someone do that to me on eBay? You know what I mean? Sometimes I'll test the water and just throw in an offer, say, hey, I really don't want to buy this item, but for $10, I'll take it. And then at the yard sale, someone's like, you know what? I had 50 on it. I just want it gone. You can have it for $10, like that happens. So why wouldn't people try that same approach on eBay or other stuff? So I don't get offended when people send me a lowball offer, because, people do it at yard sales or in person. You just never know. And it gives me a good way for me to interact with them and to send a message back, say, hey, I'm willing to work with you, but I can't go that low. And, sometimes it works and gets me a sale. So I don't have automatic declines on. You just never know.
Yeah, so I haven't really noticed an increase in returns. I have 4 open right now. One is a Louis Vuitton box with the measurements in the title and pictures with the tape measure, and they said their item doesn't fit. Okay, gotta love it. The next one, somebody bought an antique frame from me, and the picture was actually like glued in the antique frame, and they thought they could change the photo out. So they are returning it for that reason. And then a pair of shorts that did not fit, and a Garmin watch that was brand new that they said didn't work. So those are my 4 returns that are open now. As far as lowball offers, yes. And I don't know if Caroline's in the chat. I was talking to Caroline about it, because like we were talking about earlier with lower sales, it's a lot harder for me to decline a lowball offer when sales are low, but I still do it. And that's kind of like making myself, and when I say lowball, I'm talking like 70% off of asking price. Okay. If they offer me more than half, I will counter them. But if it is 60 or 70% off, I'm going to decline. And I have my message saying, I think we're too far apart to negotiate. Like, nice message. Sorry, I don't think we're going to meet in the middle, because the middle is not acceptable to me where you're at right now. I sold a To-Me bag last night. It took 8 offers. 8. Listen, I was like so frustrated. And so the first one was low. I declined. And he came back over the 50%. So he did read my message, but it was like this much over the 50. And the To-Me bag has only been listed a week. So I'm not very negotiable on items only listed a week. And he came up a little. I countered back, said, I told you 70 is my lowest. So I went back at the same exact amount. And then he kept coming back, and I declined. I'm like, I've told you, I know you're reading, because you came up above 50% when I said that was too low. And he got to his last offer, and I countered back at 70 again. I said, look, you're out of offers. I told you this is my lowest, so here it is. And he bought it. And I was like, man, that was a lot of work for this friggin' To-Me bag. Like, it took like 2 hours of offers, but he paid. And I will accept less. Like I would go under my 10% that I want if sales are slow, but I'm not going 50% on an item listed 2 days. And almost all the lowball offers I have been getting are on brand new listed items. And I have a lot of Lily Pulitzer. I have a lot of St. John that has good sell-through rate. I know that it does, so I'm not bending on that. I think I did like 13% off, so I'll go a little bit lower, but I think it's important to stand your ground if it's newly listed and you know it's worth it. You've done the research. You know, I think that's super important, but it hurts. I don't care if it hurts me to decline. They're going to get the point. And if they're lower, where I know, like if they're at $20 on a $100 item and I'm looking for 90, I don't see us getting there, you know? And I mean, we're still making plenty of sales. Not, again, we're up 1%, not like a ton of sales, but we're still making good sales. And I don't feel like it has hurt. And they get the point and they come back. Does anybody know, and I think this is probably going to be more of you in the audience that are in Canada, if there, or maybe somebody on the panel happen to know, but is there affordable shipping on eBay from Canada, coming from Canada into the US?
I think you have to move. I think they traded shipping for healthcare. So good luck.
I only have heard a few Canadian friends talk about pirate ship. I don't know enough about it. I do know that Canada has this thing where like a couple days out of the year, you get 100% free shipping, I guess. You get like 1 or 2 packages that you can send out completely for free. So maybe just like ship once a year. No, I'm not trying to be a smart aleck. I genuinely don't know.
Me neither.
I'm sorry.
I have no idea. I'm sorry about that. But if anyone's Canadian, let us know in the chat if you have any.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're in Canada and can help her, please let us know.
I know it's expensive for me to get it to Canada. So, you know, I take that into consideration too with my offers. I know we were just talking about offers and things like that. International shipping, I take that into consideration too. So.
Yeah, so for me, I would say, I'll tell you from doing the research videos, the higher end stuff is still selling to the US from Canada. Like the rare teacups, over half of them were from Canada. Mm-hmm. So if you find the right stuff, I don't think people are going to care if the shipping is expensive, is what I'm trying to say. Like also the high dollar brooches, same thing. They were from Canada and obviously people were still paying it. So definitely watch that. All right. And earlier she said she wanted to know where Kevin's butt went. If you want Kevin's butt, you have to tell me that you want Kevin's butt and I will give you Kevin's butt. I'm not going to assume anybody wants to see Kevin's butt because, you know, so here, this is not Kevin's butt. Here you go. And Mark wanted a refund last time I gave him Kevin's butt. So I know he doesn't want Kevin's butt. He wants Rod. He wants Rod. So Mark is here. Look, and I see it at 9:12. I'm telling you, it's like 9:11. I always see Mark come in the chat. All right. Mark gets Rod. That is our tradition. Here you go.
Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Until next time.
Got another one. Retro Rose said, thank you all for your time and expertise.
Thank you.
Let's do the pillow fight. I haven't done the pillow fight in forever, and Dalton's in here somewhere. Here you go.
You know,
He's so little then.
Katey sent me a message earlier. She said, I can't wait to see Kevin's butt tonight. So we're going to have to go on at least once tonight, all right? I'm just saying.
Okay.
Oh, Lord.
All right. Masai Mojo says, to or not to request immediate payment. Does it make a difference in sales either way?
I've only ever had it set up that way. So if it does make a difference, y'all let me know.
Set up what way? You require
I've
it?
only ever had it like that I require immediate payment.
I've never had it require immediate payment. So I've thought about switching that. I haven't done it yet. But again, with books, it's not a huge issue. I'd say maybe once, twice a month at max, someone doesn't pay and doesn't check out. So for me, it's not enough of an issue to where I've changed it yet.
So back in the day on eBay, they didn't require that. So when people would buy, there wasn't even an option. People would pay you, say, hey, buy on Monday. Hey, you got a mess, I'll pay you on Friday. Or, that would happen all the time. Or someone would buy it and then they'll pay you, 24, 48, 72 hours later. So yeah, I have it on every single listing because if my item gets bought and it's off eBay, I'm not making any money. And if that person backs out and doesn't pay, now I have to relist the item, takes time out of my business, and I lost that opportunity cost for someone else to come in and buy that item. And, it's okay if it's a $10, $20 item, but what happens if it's a $300 item or a $500 item? Like, those are tough sales to get on eBay. Like Rachel was talking earlier, the average sale is like $30 on there. So get these high dollar sales, you have to have the right buyer. And if that right buyer is about to spend that type of money, you want to make sure you have every opportunity to get that buyer. And so, yeah, I have it on every single listing, immediate only.
I do not. And I don't think it makes a difference, but I will tell you that probably 80% of my sales come from offers, which negates immediate payment. So if they make an offer you accept, it's not required unless they're one of the buyers that's in the, like, they have to put in payment. I know I am because I've made offers and it tells me like it'll take your money if the seller accepts. So I am in that category. But if your buyer's not in that category and you send out an offer or receive one, that negates the automatic, like the immediate payment requirement. So just know that there are some that still would not qualify under that. But I don't. And I don't have, like, I might not even one a month, I don't pay. I don't have an issue with it. All right. Trash Cat Rescue wants to know, is there a way to video hands-free with your phone? I want to see if I enjoy doing videos, but I don't want to invest in a GoPro until I know.
I would say I just use my phone with my hand, but if you're just truly wanting it to be first person, my friend Mary, the Merchants, Mary Garcia, she had this bag that she retrofitted. She could slide her phone in. It was like a crossbody bag, and she slid her phone in there, and it had the window open, so she could literally film while she had her purse on. I thought that was kind of a neat option, but you don't have to invest in a GoPro. Some of the best YouTube videos are filmed on cell phones. Just press record, right? Isn't that what thing?
Yeah, but then you have to hold it. That's the hard part about recording with a phone. I did that for a long time. So then you have one hand and you're trying to pick up a breakable item and flip it over with your other hand. And
I guess so. My husband has a GoPro and he likes it. I will say, I think there's a big caveat to GoPro that I don't use it even though we own one, because I feel like the learning curve is so big on those where you don't know whether or not you're recording, and people like would be recording and then realize they never pushed record because the screen is different. I don't know. Maybe I have a Canon.
You can turn the back screen on. I leave my back screen on so I see it and I know it's recording. A lot of people turn it off. I don't turn it off for that exact reason. That I'd be worried I wouldn't be recording.
Now I don't like taking the entire camera out, because when I turn my camera on, the lens pops out and that's a little awkward in the thrift store, but I just use my cell phone, and I wouldn't say that you need anything more.
Yeah, so I didn't have a GoPro for the first almost year of having my YouTube channel, and still to this day, I'm so busy. I'm a mom, like I forget my GoPro often. I'll admit that. I love my GoPro and I use it when I remember it and when I intentionally like get stuff together because I know I'm going to make content. But I do forget, and I'll pull out my phone. For the first year that I had it, so I had an iPhone at the time, and I found, Amazon, eBay, like you can Google this, and you can find little attachments that you can put your phone in, and you might have to pay up a little bit so it stabilizes it a little bit so it doesn't move around too much, because that's a nice thing about a GoPro is, the movement side of things. So that way the video is a little bit, more stable for the viewers. But I found this clip thing that I could put my iPhone on there, and a little clip thing. Now, I will say it's bulky, it's huge, it's obvious, it's all of that stuff. You got to make sure you're recording and everything like that. I couldn't use it with having a case on my phone. I had to take my case off of my phone every time I did that. But like, I found little accessories and played around with it. There's handheld ones. I mean, you still have to have a hand, but there's little stands like what you see with GoPro stands. There's those for phones too. And then there's even ones that go around your neck, like a necklace, and you can set your phone in it and it goes around like that. Again, that gets you a little bit more comfortable for like the GoPro straps and like the head and all of that.
Me and Marcia use the necklaces for our GoPro, so I put it under my shirt and the GoPro just floats on my chest. I absolutely
they have a necklace
love it.
one for different like iPhones, Androids, stuff like that. So really,
so probably the same thing.
Hand-free accessories, and then even like the arm piece ones that people use for jogging and things like that. You could use that too if you wanted to. And just kind of adjust it to where it's maybe facing this way. So there's a bunch of different ways to do it. I mean, just find, some fun accessories and play with that. And if you like that, then save up and invest in a GoPro eventually one day. But yeah, use your phone.
Yeah, I would say some of the biggest YouTubers, I know YouTubers that have hundreds of thousands of subs that just use their phone only, and they edit from their phone and they film from their phone. They don't do anything else. They never invest in the camera, or just very basic. So I always recommend people start with their camera. Worst case scenario, even if you do have to hold it in your hand while you're out there, you can literally put it down, do what you have to do, pick it up, and then show the item on camera just for your video. There's ways that you can work around it. But there's all kind of, if you go on Amazon, you can find tons of different harnesses or straps that you can use for your camera. I use a GoPro, and I absolutely love it because GoPros are meant for extreme sports. So they do have stabilizer in there. So if you're moving around, you're shaking
make people
around,
dizzy.
Yeah, very simple. Like Rachel said about being difficult, it's actually very simple. You can turn off you can turn off the screen in the front of it. You do have the screen in the back, and then when you turn your camera on and off, it makes a beeping noise, goes on, and beeping noise goes off, so when it's on there. But I have, there've been multiple times that I thought my camera was off, well, really was on when I was inside my truck, and then I hit my button to record when I got to the yard sale, and I was actually turning off my camera. So, but that's part about being a YouTuber. You're not a YouTuber unless you record in fast forward mode. I've done that.
Oh, what's that thing? The time lapse? Oh my gosh, I recorded a whole video in time lapse.
20 minutes of footage one time. I was so mad. I cried.
32 minutes. I was at.
See, that's what I'm talking about. I hear too many of those horror stories. I'm not using the GoPro.
Yeah,
I never did it again.
Yeah,
I never did it again.
I didn't either. Yep.
It's a rite of passage. So I would say it's a rite of passage. But I mean, the simplest thing is when you literally go to the yard sale, I had the button out and I just look at it. It says recording. I'm like, oh, I'm good to go. Make sure it's in video mode, not photo or not time lapse. But
yeah, I keep my back screen on because I want to see it and I'll look.
Yeah, I just turn on my front screen, keep my back screen on. But I had 32 minutes of footage. I was down to like 3 minutes and like 42 seconds or something from a church sale. That was like, and like I got like great stuff.
It is Prime Day. Katey just put that in the chat.
Yeah, it's Prime Day, so check out the deals.
It is Prime Day. It's Prime Day. I like her song. It like gets stuck in my head. Anyways, so I would say too, because I am a fan of the GoPro. I will tell you, I have a GoPro 10 I will sell you and I will make you a good deal because I got it in a buy and I have not listed it. And I have accessories. So if you would like that, somebody emailed me and then didn't email me back. So I'm assuming they didn't want it from when I said this last time. I still have not listed it. I still have a GoPro 10 because that's the same model I use. You could get like a GoPro 8 or 9 and just try it. GoPros hold their value is why I'm saying this. If you don't like it, you can resell it on eBay super easy and get your money back. So you could do that. The necklace holder that me and Marcia use, is like $22 on eBay or on Amazon, I mean. But I like the hands-free option. I haven't, like, I agree with Rachel, like, if you can find something to hold it here in the center, I think whether you're using a phone or a GoPro, that's probably the best place to do it. Put your hair up. I have my hair up most of the time
nodding
anyway.
that he agrees.
You'll have hair in front of your GoPro.
I'm envisioning that head hair. Okay, I have a mohawk.
Watch your beard. My husband recorded his beard hair. Was
because it's so long. That's right.
Yeah, like you have to be careful of hair, but yes, email me when you're not driving. I don't even know where it's at. I'll find it. It's been a little hectic around here.
One tip I would just give you, if you're new to filming and you're real conscious about having the camera there and stuff, that wear a black shirt. So
then they don't see it. I do that a lot still.
I would tell you, I film so many garage sales and people don't even realize I have a camera on me. And people are like, oh, I didn't even know you're recording or anything like that. So don't be self-conscious about it. But if you wear a black shirt, your camera will blend in. So if you're real conscious about that, I would say that. And also too, one of the best pieces of advice I get, if you do like it, because this is what I do for a living. So I upgrade my equipment every single year when a new camera comes out, because like Kat said, the old cameras do hold their value very well, because you want to have the best quality and the best equipment for what you do.
Yeah. And then you'll see if you like it. I think the 10 is really good.
10's great. The 9's good. I had a 9 to 12. So
yeah. And I haven't upgraded because I'm getting good enough quality. I might when the 13 comes out, because then I'll be 3 models behind, but I'll be able to get plenty from my GoPro 10 when I go to sell it. So I'm not worried about that. So if you think you might want to try it, just know you could get your money back pretty easily, is what I was trying to say. But I was one of the people, like Rod was saying, I only used my cell phone for over a year, and I still only use my cell phone to edit. I didn't buy any equipment until YouTube income paid for it. I did not buy anything out of my own pocket. My YouTube channel paid for my new camera. It paid for my new GoPro. I was not investing money. So on that hand, you might want to use the phone, but I did it one-handed. I tried to do it with a camera. I think we talked about this last week. People said I was making them dizzy. They wanted to throw up. So me and a handheld camera in a store did not go good together. I was trying to emulate how Jocelyn, Crazy Lamp Lady, was doing it, and my hand is not as steady as hers. And people said I made them want to puke. So I had to stop. GoPro is great at stabilization if you were shaky, and that's why I like it. Trash Cat Rescue and S. Gray both sent super chat. And Rod said, I have to show Kevin's butt. So ladies, I apologize if you do not want to see Kevin's butt, but we're going to show Kevin's butt now. After we answer this question, is Etsy a good guide on pricing 10 karat gold rings? What do you guys think?
I think it's kind of a niche market over on Etsy in the way of vintage. And so not necessarily, if it's a vintage ring, then it could be more the value of the ring than the value of the gold. If that makes sense. I do think that they have their own niche buyers. Like even a pair of Levi's jeans, I can get a lot more on Etsy than I could on eBay. It is a totally different clientele. I would search around. I think that eBay is more of a worldwide marketplace for what the actual price of gold is, for instance, or that's easily Googleable too.
Yeah, I would say Google that versus just looking at Etsy, because a lot is inflated on Etsy because of the type of market it is and the buyers, like Rachel said. So that would be my suggestion.
I agree with both of them. So I would say the same exact thing.
And I would say too, are you talking about like the weight? Because the weight of a gold ring is going to be nominal. So the value on a vintage gold ring is not going to be by the weight. It's going to be by like the design, the style, if it's a particular maker. Katey wants to see your butt, Kevin, if that makes you feel better.
I do not want to see your behind. I would pay money.
I'm really like, before you start this, are you joking? Is this actually?
I am not joking. So close your eyes and remember, we can see what you're doing behind the scenes. All right, here you go.
You really had me scared. I was like, no.
Did you think it was going to be like
Rachel's doing one these behind the
back,
scenes. She's
yeah.
like, I have
get
to
that
look, but I
time
can't
back.
look. And Katey was just shaking her head the entire time. So
I was really nervous. What
I
was
can't get that time back, Kat. Like,
Everyone likes to play mermaids.
Yvonne made that. Yvonne Thrifty Rich, but Yvonne
That's
Thrifty
a
Rich
good
made
one.
that for me.
That's a good one.
And we had a request in the chat for that super chat, though. That is how that came about.
Make him into a WWE wrestler, like jumping into the ring or jumping. That would be funny.
Oh, Mark. What did I? Oh,
Yeah.
I was like, I
Rachel-
know I saw something I need to click
Rachel
on.
instantly regrets accepting this request to come on the show now.
I was like, I haven't seen this new super
I
chat
just-
thing, and I'm not sure what this is going to be.
I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready.
I don't think she's still ready. Okay, Fierce Monkey Biz joined the channel membership. So you get the turtles. I love this is one of my favorite ones. Oh, and thank you to Gino. I'm gonna put Gino's question up next. Gino made most of the super chats, including this one. Here you go.
That was so wholesome.
Yeah.
She was so much better than the last one.
Yeah. The other one just felt.
Oh my gravy. Okay. Gino wants to know, Rod, he's never been to Webster. Do you think it's worth it?
So Webster Flea Market, for those who don't know, is the biggest flea market in the state of Florida and is 100% absolutely worth going because what else can you do on a Monday? They do it on a Monday morning. Yeah. So, and you can get there at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning and be done before noon and still have your whole day to yourself. But I will say a couple of nuances with it. The summertime's the worst time because it's so hot in Florida. So there's a lot less vendors. The fall and winter are the best times to go because
When the snowbirds are here.
Yep, snowbirds are here and they are setting up. There's a lot more vendors there. But the best time to go is holidays. So if you go to a holiday that falls on a Monday, like a Martin Luther King, Labor Day, was the other, I don't know, Memorial Day, those always
Oh,
do
yeah.
really,
The
really well.
holiday weekends
Yeah.
are really good because a
Yeah.
lot of people are
Well,
off of work.
especially because like MLK is one of their biggest, or President's Day or MLK is one of their biggest days because it's right after Reading does theirs. So people come down Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then they go to Webster Monday. So
Yeah, for sure. All right. Mike sent a $20 super chat and said, "Hey, Kat and Rod, I love your podcast and always learn a lot. I've watched tons of previous pods, but this is my first live, so I'm diving in head first. Thanks a lot, Mike from New York. You're very, very welcome. I will not traumatize you and the rest of the chat again.
Thank God.
So we'll do Dalton at the beach. That's a fun one. Here you go.
if you guys
He's
don't know,
way cuter.
Mike is a huge supporter of the reselling community and a lot of other YouTubers and resellers. So, and happy belated birthday. He just had his 69th birthday. So happy birthday, Mike.
Happy birthday, Mike.
Okay.
If I could sing, I would say, oh, Rachel, can't you sing?
I mean, if you want me to, but I guess that's a matter of opinion.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Moving on. Ellen says, do you price differently on the various platforms?
Honestly, I don't. I know a lot of people will price up on Poshmark because they'll send out offers, and I guess it depends on what your what your activity is going to look like. If you need to have that margin to, Kat was just saying how she will accept 10% less on eBay. So why would she price differently to offer 10%, off on Poshmark? You don't necessarily have to. I typically know what I want out of an item and I price it. The caveat being Whatnot. Whatnot is way cheaper than what it is anywhere else, but it's a volume game. Don't ever think, with a few exceptions, that you're going to get an eBay price over on Whatnot. It's going to be a lot cheaper.
Rachel, do you sell a lot on the Whatnot marketplace, or are you just selling on live auctions?
Live auctions. I've sold a couple hats, but that's really the only thing that I moved over there to Whatnot. I like the live auctions, and I like the bulk of that.
So I so I've been cross-listing with Vendu. I've been moving all my stuff from eBay over to my marketplace over there. And then when I do my auctions, if it's a theme auction, I'll take all my eBay listings and put them in my buy it now, and then tell people to make offers. It's actually been working really well. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah,
Yes.
I would say the only platform that no, I'll make sure I get my turn. No, I was just gonna say Etsy is the only platform that I'll inflate a little bit on some of my antique and vintage books, because the market is a little bit different there. People are willing to pay up for that a little bit more. And that's also the only market that I put like my handmade stuff on, other than Whatnot. I'll do a couple Whatnot shows, things like that, ephemera. So Etsy, I inflate it a little bit. But I have to be careful because with Etsy, you don't really get that shipping discount that you get with eBay. And so I have to really make sure I'm right on the mark with the shipping that I have set up with Etsy, especially with like my really small items, my 2 ounce, 3 ounce items like bookmarks and stuff. So I say that, but then I also kind of have to take the shipping into consideration too when I do that on Etsy. But yeah, Etsy is the only platform that I'll inflate a little bit, but not a ton, nothing crazy. I'm not gonna do a $150 book and list it for $215 or something like that. I'll just inflate it a little bit. So, and I feel like the Etsy fees are just a tad more too, but I could be wrong. Kat sells on both, so maybe she can speak on that. But that's the only platform. Well, and then Whatnot, like Rachel said.
Yeah, for me, I don't price my stuff differently because I make my money in the buy, not the sell. So if I have to take less money on one platform compared to another one, I don't care. I'm still making good profit. So
yeah, so I typically don't. We were before. I was pricing up like 20% on Etsy. And since I've restarted listing on Etsy, I'm just leaving the prices the same. I am listing on Kitizen now. And on Kitizen, they do all free shipping. And so I actually have been leaving it. So for people buying from me, Kitizen is going to be the lowest price for me because I've been leaving my price because Kitizen fees are a little bit less. And I'm like, I'm going to try and see if I can get sales on a new platform, and I'm just leaving it. Now, if they're lower, like $25, I'll up it by 5 instead of like 8 that shipping might be, just a little bit kind of in the middle. But I probably should, because like Posh, I definitely get the most lowball offers on. So I know a lot. And I feel like people think people price up for that reason, because a lot of people do, so maybe it should be Posh. I'm pricing up 20%, not Etsy.
Kat, how have you been selling anything on that platform yet?
I have not. And I haven't made any sales on Etsy either since we went back, but I'm also very selectively posting. So like, I'm not even posting on there every day. Just when I'm putting up new listings, I'm actually looking at them and thinking like, would they fit on Etsy and or Kitizen? I feel like Kitizen, from what I'm seeing, is more like popular brands. So like my Lily Pulitzer I listed on Etsy, but my St. John, which is higher end vintage, those I put on Etsy, not on Kitizen. So it's nice with me doing it because I can kind of analyze it, where if my mom was doing it, I had to tell her either put them all here or don't. So that's one thing nicer with me being the one doing it to the new one, is that I can analyze it a little more and think, where do I think this might sell versus just blindly do it. Okay, I did not put this up. I was waiting on an answer, and I have already got one. I have some contacts at LP. Is it possible to cross list with Etsy and Posh? So if you're in Canada, you can cross post if you're listing on the US site. That is the answer to that. So if you're posting on the United States site, then you can use it if you're in Canada. But if you're posting to Posh Canada or eBay Canada, then no, it does not work for that yet. So that is the answer to that. Kitizen, and I'll type how you spell it in here, is it's mainly kids clothes and kids accessories, and I talked about this. I don't know if I put the video out. I might talk about it tomorrow. I recorded it a couple days ago, but I started on there just this last week because I was searching comps for the Lily Pulitzer stuff, and a $99 sold comp was on Kitizen. And I'm like, wait, like I'm using List Perfectly. I have auto delister, and I can click a button to put it on there. Like I just now see, one of these sold for $99 on there. Why am I not? So that's why I started selling on Kitizen. I don't have a lot. I might only have like 20 listings or so. And I might at some point, like if I've got all my drafts up, go back and look and see what kids items I do have and put those over to Kitizen. I know I was reading some on like forums and people were saying Kitizen's not really worth it. So I'll update you guys. And if it's not, and I'm not getting sales and I've been posting there for like a month, I'll probably drop it. If I get no sales in a month. And Etsy's going to be the same. Etsy's sitting at no sales right now too.
That's what I had to do with Tango Books because it wasn't making sense for me. And it's on no cross-listing platform either. If Tango Books was on a cross-listing platform, I'd probably do that. But hint, List Perfectly. But yeah.
What were you saying, Rod?
Isn't that the platform that if you become an approved, like one of their like ambassadors or like improved sellers, that you can get wholesale lots sent to you as well based off your region?
I don't know.
I think so. I think they work. I think if I'm not mistaken,
I listened to their talk at Camp
Yeah.
LP, but I don't remember that.
I thought they're the ones that said that if you are an approved reseller through them, they have contacts with, I guess, a bunch of like department stores or a bunch of different businesses that when they want to clear out their inventory, you get the first dib based on your region or something like that. Yeah. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that, but that's something to look into if you're already on there. So
Yeah, no, that's interesting for sure. All right. Hold on. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. That's kind of true. I'm going to give away three things right now. And I know it's late. I'm going to throw you guys for a loop. So I got to show you guys this because this is the first time I've given them away. I have been using mine that I got for a while, and I requested a new one, and I requested 2 to give away to you guys. So where are they? Dun, da, da, da. Are you ready? Set. Rod, which button? This button? Oh, I found it.
Oh, good job.
These are my Reseller Genie, like IKEA bags.
Oh,
I don't know where mine is. I'm not going to unfold it because I have to ship it to you. But they're big, my Reseller Genie. So hashtag my Reseller Genie. You can use code the Nurse Flipper, get 10% off. If you guys don't know, they are accounting software. They would be good, like if you use like what was it, GoDaddy. They import your eBay sales, they import your Posh sales, and the most expensive plan is $20 a month. So they're very, very fairly priced. This is my only affiliate that I don't use because I use an accountant. So I do want to say that, but I've gotten amazing feedback from people that are using them. Their plans start at $10 a month. So very, very affordable. And then they will print out all of the reports for you to give to an accountant to file your taxes at the end of the year. So if you need an accounting service, check them out. And if you want an IKEA bag that is cool and white and I like it, I'm going to pick 2 of you to win that. And then I'll pick one of you to win some tape from Joel, American Bubble Boy. And we'll answer a question while you guys are entering this. Okay. May says, Rod had mentioned one time about old listings being deleted. Are we supposed to be notified of this? I'm hearing of a lot of vanishing listings lately, including mine.
Yeah, I don't think that eBay sends out any notice that this is happening. It's been a phenomenon in the community for longer than I've been reselling. Literally, I once a year try to go through your inventory. If you haven't seen it for a while, hey, where's that Donald Duck puzzle? I mean, I know it's sitting on my shelf, but when's the last time I dropped the price on it? Go through your inventory, ensure, because I would be willing to bet everyone present in this chat, everyone on this panel has at least one thing that eBay's deleted and we don't even know about it. You don't get a notification.
It's still sitting there.
Yep. You don't get a notification. It's taking up space. You don't know why it's not selling, and you're not going to get a notification about it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I just would, I guess, be regurgitating everything Rachel said. It's happened to me a couple times in the past year. I found a couple items that, and it was just like Rachel said, because I was going through things and I was debating taking some things to Whatnot. And then I'm like, well, why is this listing not even here? Am I crazy? Like, I was gaslighting myself a little bit for a second. And then I just realized that it was just gone. Like I literally can't explain it. So far this year, I don't think it's happened, but again, you're not going to know unless you do like kind of an inventory check-in. So unfortunately,
I always notice it when I'm going through, like, I keep my inventory in totes and they're all numbered like A1, A2, so on.
Mm-hmm.
And when I go through, I go to pull an order and I look in my tote and I'm like, why hasn't that item sold? This item has a super fast sell-through rate, or I mean, maybe I priced too high and I look and then it's not even listed on eBay. So that's how I catch it when I find these items. I'm like, I'm shocked that it hasn't sold yet and it's still in my inventory. Especially if you go through like old totes, like, if you when you're placing your items in certain totes, like your older totes, newer totes, that you put stuff in, but find it. But yeah, I think it's a glitch in the system. It's been there from day one. eBay is very antiquated, so it's just part of the business. Part of it, I think there's a small portion that's our fault, where someone probably bought something from you and then you went to and they canceled the order and then you actually didn't relist it. Like, you didn't click the little button to relist when you cancel the order, so it's just sitting there and you forgot about it. Or maybe you end and sell similar, and here's another one. I've done this before. I end to sell similar and I got distracted, like I got a phone call or something happens and I forgot to go finish my listings. So I've done that. So it's part of it.
I did that with 27 this week, and I have no clue out of 7,000 items which 27. I ended them, thought I had sold similar, and then I deleted them out of my unsold, and then I realized I didn't list them. So now I have 27 items that I didn't. I was like, oh crap. Like, yeah. So yeah, I think everybody's kind of answered it. I did it to myself this week, and I don't know how I'll figure out what 27 items they are.
When you do inventory?
Never.
Right.
Yeah, we've talked about, we might do like we could probably do like one box a day, but I mean, we have 7,000 listings. So it would take, I would have to like pay extra people to come in and do an inventory for it to be done in any small length of time. But we might be able to check like a shelf or a box a day and just verify that what's in there is listed. That's something I've been contemplating doing. If you're not in my membership, you don't know, but my full-time employee has been out for over a week. Unfortunately, she's not been feeling well. She's been in the hospital. And so I have been doing the work of 3 people because my part-time employee gets a ride from my full-time employee. And so I've had no employees, and it's been very, very stressful. I've survived, but hopefully she'll be feeling better soon. I hope. I didn't hear from her today, but hopefully she'll be feeling better soon. I think she was worried, and I'm like, no, you're fine. Like, take all the time you want. I'm like, I did this for years. I promise I will survive. Yeah, I can do it. A couple things I couldn't find because she's been putting stuff away, and I got lucky. The buyers are nice, and I pretty much let them know, like, I have an employee out, I can't find it. And they're like, oh, take all the time you want. And I'm like, okay, so it's just going to be a late shipment, but I'm like leaving the stuff there. But I got lucky. The people were nice. All right, let's pick 2 winners. If you win, Marshall dropped my email. Just email me your shipping address and I'll ship them out to you. I'm going to pick 2 winners. You'll get 1 bag each. So thank you to Paul and Faith from my Reseller Genie for sending me these. I absolutely love them. Dun, 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 dun. And now I have 2 of my own, so I'm happy. Oh, Mike won.
Oh, that's good.
That's a good birthday present.
Yeah.
Congrats, Mike. and let's pick one more winner. So Mike, email me your address so I can mail you your big bag. And then let's see who else wins. Dun, da, da, da. Grandma Mary's Attic. You got the other one. Congrats. Let's do some tape.
Congrats, guys.
Yeah, congrats. All right, hashtag my go-to tape. I'm going to give you 6 rolls. I will tell you it is like the lowest price of 6 rolls because he has different widths and different things. Find the one that's the lowest cost and add that to your cart, and I'll send you a coupon code because we had issues with it not working, but it only works on one specific set. So if you can't get which one it is, let me know and I will help you. Ellen wants to know, are you able to see the actual selling price for best offer accepted?
I don't think so. I feel like I've seen it on my own listings when I go, because it'll just say sold, and then when I click through, it actually shows like the line out or vice versa. But I feel like you can't on other people's.
You can with TerraPeak, but I mean, that's a lot of digging. So for me, when I'm reviewing things and I see their best offer was accepted, I just kind of, assume worst case scenario, they took 50% off, I guess. You could kind of figure that. But I kind of just look at the rest of the market and just kind of assume average. That's just something that I do. But you can with TerraPeak, and I've done that in the past. With like larger dollar books, like antique books and things like that. I've been able to see it that way, but just doing a 90-day sold comp, no, I don't think you can.
So you can't, if you look at the 90-day sold comp, there is a way if you go through you can actually go through code and actually see exactly what they paid at one point in time. I saw that hack on eBay, but you don't want to do that. What I normally do is I actually search from highest to lowest. So if you know what the starting price was, you can actually kind of find it in the range. So you at least get a range of like what it was originally and what the item above and below it sold. So you can have at least have a ballpark idea of where the item was at.
Yeah, and I get asked this all the time on my research videos, people asking me to do it, and like my research videos already take hours to build. Like I am not gonna dig and see what the best offer price was on everything. It's just too much time. And again, like Katey said, even like worst case, if they took 50%, most of the stuff in my research videos, 1,000. So if they got 1,000 instead of 2, still something to keep an eye out for. But, and I agree with Katey, like I don't look into those best offer prices when I'm comping and researching either, because they're most times are going to be just flat sold prices without best offer that you can look at as well. So you can see them if you use TerraPeak, the research tab, but I don't know that I would spend that time unless it was like thousands and thousands of dollars. All right. Serenity said she tried to import her eBay listings to Mercari, but it didn't work. So has anybody on the panel tried this? And if not, if anybody in the chat has tried it, let us know.
I have not. I have Vendoo right now. I might be doing List Perfectly later on. So like I have like a centralized dashboard that I have everything on. Like I didn't try to do straight to eBay to Mercari. So I've never done that.
I'm using Vendoo also, but I will tell you at one point before I was using a cross listing service, I went to import my listings to Mercari, but I wasn't doing like some import a CSV file or anything like that. I was just copying them myself. And when I got to 100, Mercari would no longer let me list anything. They said that I had reached a limit, and it didn't matter.
Now they'll have you seen it, Rachel? Now Mercari has a service almost like Whatnot will pull in your Posh listings. Mercari will pull in your eBay listings, and I think it caps at 3,000. But that wouldn't even stop, if I took you were talking about. Like if they have that 100 limit.
They never let me list another thing on there. So I finally just got rid of Mercari. I was like, well, I can never list again on here because I listed 100 items the first day.
Yeah, for me, I use Vendoo too, so I don't have any issues with that.
Yeah, and I'm using List Perfectly. And I want to point out, if you do this, please remember you have to delete the item from the other platform yourself. So like I have auto delister with List Perfectly, so they end my listings for me. If it sells on Mercari, they'll end it on eBay, Etsy, Poshmark. And if you aren't doing that, you have to delete it so you don't get double sales. So please, please remember that. And I did it that way for a long time. It is definitely doable, but don't forget to do that, because if you're canceling sales on eBay, they will penalize you. Mercari will as well. Mercari tracks it. And like Rachel was saying, some people, and let us know in the chat if you're new to Mercari. I don't know if Mercari's still doing that 100 listing thing. I know they're saying they can import 3,000 listings, but that wouldn't matter if they've imposed a 100 listing limit on you. You know, just like eBay, if you have a 10 limit listing, you can't cross post there because they won't let you put any more up.
Right.
So let us know in the chat if you're new to Mercari, if they're still, you know, placing that 100 item limit. They weren't doing that when I first started, and then I was established, so I didn't run into that. But I don't know if they're still doing it. All right, here's a tip for newbies to Posh. And I wanted to put this up here because it's 100% true, and it's 100% true on all the platforms. So if you are new, and she's especially on Poshmark, people will comment on your items, asking to see more pics, asking you to email them directly. On any platform, it is against the terms of service to contact somebody outside of that platform, and those 99% of the time are a scam. So please, please do not ever contact somebody this way. Report the comments on Posh as trying to get a sale off Posh. But those are scams, guys. Do not fall for it. Please, please, please. All right, I'm going to let Katey answer this, and then we'll pick the winner of the tape. Katey, what are the drawbacks, in your opinion, for Amazon FBA?
The profit margins, the fees, for sure. My profit margins on eBay are sometimes as high as 65, 70%. Amazon, I'm lucky to get 35. So the fees are nasty. The discounted shipping through UPS Ground helps when you're sending an inventory to FBA. But because of how I choose to operate, and Amazon being a volume game, you know, I have almost 800 with FBA now with Amazon. So that's nice. That's 800 books that I don't have to have in my home, because I operate, you know, I have a finished basement. So my inventory, my office, everything is in my basement here. So that's what I keep telling myself that makes it worth it, you know, with Amazon. It's been a love-hate for me since probably 2018. You know, I go through waves of it. I'm back on it again. So I would say that is the worst part about FBA, is the profit margins. But with that said, it is just such a monster beast. So if you can be on that platform and you have the products to do it, I recommend it. That also said, eBay is a global beast. You know, I can sell globally on eBay. On Amazon, I can only sell in US and Canada. So again, pros and cons, but the profit margins are the biggest drawback for sure.
All right, I'm going to let Rachel grab this one too. Rachel, they want to know, why did you take your listings off eBay? And I'm going to draw a winner too while Rachel is answering.
So there were honestly a couple different reasons. Part of it was I needed to do inventory, and mine was so dramatic because I neglected it for so long. Hang on, we're congratulating. Who is this?
Yay!
Flipping cute.
Congratulations. But
you
more
can't
so
see.
Sorry, I can't see the name. Ah, there we are. I mean, she looked cute. I was like, yeah, she is really flipping cute. But more so than that, there are things that have been listed in my eBay I would never pick up today, because I've evolved in 9 years of reselling, and I got up to 1,700 listings, and then the burden of having 1,700 listings weighed really heavy on me. I thought that means there's 1,700 items that did not sell for me today. what the heck am I doing wrong that I have 1,700 things that didn't sell? And I really want to focus, and everyone is so different. That's what I love about reselling, as I love about this show. You get 4 opinions and they're all different. For me, I want to focus more on that higher turnover, that faster turnover, on having my own sell-through rate look better. Having 1,700 unlisted items is not even feasible for me anymore. It got to the point where I can't go to the estate sale that I want to, because where am I going to put this merchandise? I don't want to source a death pile. And I operate my YouTube, my whatnot, my eBay, everything out of 1 bedroom of my house. That's a lot to have 1,700 listed items, all of your unlisted inventory, your photography station, your shipping station, and a YouTube studio all in 1 bedroom. So I deleted all of them. And I'm going back. I'm going from highest to lowest, because maybe I don't need every little $5 thing on there anymore that I'm not passionate about. Or maybe I can lot up all of the souvenir spoons that aren't sterling silver, or maybe I can take those to Whatnot, because I've been doing some Whatnot sales, and I sold an entire tote of clothing that had been listed on eBay for probably 18 months in one Whatnot show. So I guess I'm consolidating and kind of changing the way that I do things.
So Rachel, what is your goal for how many items? I mean, because you said 17 was overwhelming to you. So do you have a number in mind, like 1,000, 1,200? Do you have someone?
I do believe that I started seeing consistent sales, and speaking from a lot of members of the community, consistent sales really happen after 500 active listings, but I'd also like to have less than 1,000. So I'm going to hit in that sweet spot between 500 and 1,000 active listings, because I think that'll give me enough shelf space to keep sourcing. I can't even buy anything because I have, stuff that hasn't sold.
And follow-up question, how good does it feel right now by doing this?
It's like, part of it feels good because I know I'm getting rid of a Wheaties box that's been listed for 3 years. No one's buying your daggone Wheaties box. Like, move on,
Right.
Yeah.
So that part feels good, but it's really overwhelming because I'm not using some massive thing to relist all of these. I'm going in one by one. And if the picture sucks, then I am either retaking the photo or I'm using their new background remover. I'm brightening the photo. I'm checking every keyword. I'm listing these manually, relisting them myself. And so while it is liberating to get rid of the stale inventory, it's also very daunting to know that I was at this number and now I'm at like 70 listings and rebuilding.
You got a long way to go then. So
yeah, I do.
Yeah, and that's like, we took down like 300 or 400 DVDs, and I tried to sell them on Whatnot, but I was not letting people pick individual ones for $2, so I just gave them away. I gave them all away free, and that was nice. Like, those were one of the few things that were still in the house because they were on like entertainment shelves. We cleared out that whole space in the house. And because I turned off my sale thing, like doing my marking up and sale down, I turned that off July 1st. So my prices are my prices. And now what I did on yesterday was I handpicked like 400 or 500 that have been listed over a year. And I actually put them on sale for 40% because I'm willing to take 50. And then I send an extra 10% off on it. So I'm like drastically cutting. And if I get interest in it, I send them 50% off, even if it means losing money. I'm like, it's been sitting here, kind of the same thing. And ours is a little different because I have employees, we have the space, but same mentality of like trying to get faster sell-through items and just get this stuff out of here, make room for new stuff. And I agree, as far as like stuff that you like, I still am going to pick up stuff for a profit that I don't like, but more, faster. Like, I want it to be faster selling. If I don't like, the more I don't like it, the faster it better sell, kind of thing. So yeah. Oh, definitely go look. And like, look at my store. There's a lot on sale. So like, the sales now are true sales off of the actual price. There's no marking up and marking down anymore. That I think I will continue indefinitely. The shipping discount, I think that's going to get nixed at the end of the month. But yeah, if there's something you want, Like, you can even ask me, like, message me and be like, is this old? Because if it's old, I'll give you a really, really good deal. If you send me that offer on new stuff, you might get a different response, my friends. Just know that. All right. It is after 10. I'm going to let Rachel, Katey tell you goodbye. And then Rod. Yay, Marsha got over 401
Congrats,
subs.
Marsha. Congrats.
Thank you guys for supporting her. She helps me more than you guys can even imagine. All right, here is Rachel.
Congrats to Marsha. You're a rock star, and thank you so much for dropping all the links that you did tonight. I thank you guys for having me. If you want a positive spin on reselling and just a, I guess, semi-intimate look at working from home, raising kids, and more than anything, setting up my life to afford the life that I want, that's what my channel is about. I would love to have you guys over there. We're about to celebrate 40,000 subscribers, and it's going to be with a really big giveaway. So I hope to see you guys over there.
Perfect. Cheers, Katey.
Thanks, guys, so much for the questions. Thank you, everybody in the chat. I had a great time. Thank you, Kat, Rod, Rachel. Essentially, my YouTube channel is just books, ephemera, talking about different things relating to books. I drop videos once in a while where I interview authors, self-published authors, because I do write stories myself. So it's really a broad channel of book-related things, mostly reselling. Follow me on Instagram. I'm Katey Reads on pretty much everything, TikTok, Instagram. I don't have Facebook yet, but I'm working on that. Tomorrow I have a Whatnot auction, again, antique vintage books. You can follow me on Whatnot too. And yeah, guys, I have merch and all that fun stuff. It's all on my Instagram page. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not good at the outros, I guess, but thanks guys so much.
All right, Rod, what do you got going on?
Well, first and foremost, thank you for having these amazing guests of the show, guys. Everyone in the chat, please go like and subscribe to each one of their channels because you will not regret it. They both put out great information. For me, I dropped a new video on picking and punching today. So I go to a yard sale and I buy a massive thing of makeup. So let me know if I regret my decision or not, if I made a bad choice.
I need to watch it.
Yeah, go check that one out. And then tomorrow I'll drop a new video on my flipping and punching channel. And I'm putting out a lot of videos. And then my picking and punching cards. If you guys haven't known, I launched a card channel. So I'm dropping 5 long-form videos a week. And I am about 80 subs away from hitting 1,000 already. We just dropped it 3 weeks ago, and it's doing well. We drop daily shorts of us opening a pack. So if you guys are into cards, we do movies, TV shows, and sports cards. Go check that out. And tomorrow night I'll be live on Whatnot. I'm blowing out
I need to go live on.
Yeah, I am blowing out everything tomorrow night. So everything's started at $2-3, 7 p.m. Come check us out, and I will give you guys great deals.
So go to Katey first, and then Rod, and then
yes, I just hit 5K on YouTube.
Maybe I'll go in the middle of all of them.
I have to say with Rod's, like the cards when he opens them up and stuff, it's like, so I have this thing where like I watch videos of carpet cleaning when I want to relax on Instagram, where like people will do like serious cleaning to carpet.
Oh, I like the lawn mowing ones.
Yes, where they'll like take a lawn that's super overgrown and they'll like power wash it, and it's just like so wonderful. And those types of videos, so the videos that Rod does where he's like opening up the cards is so relaxing. I just love it. And it's like, which one is he gonna pick for his like heavy hitter, or what type of heavy hitter is he gonna get? And it's like, it's just, I don't know, it's fun. I like doing that.
It's mostly me just wasting tons of money so you guys don't have to, and just opening cards and getting nothing.
We get to watch you get nothing.
So
I love it.
So I love it. Marsha dropped the link to all 3 of Rod's channels, and she asked me to inform Rod if you get a 4th channel, there will be a surcharge for her dropping a link.
Channels, I'm done.
I told her I'm behind. I'm like, I do have a 3rd channel, but I don't post on it. Next week, the show is on Dalton's birthday. So we're having his party Sunday. So we're celebrating Sunday, but his birthday is actually a week from tonight. He will be 6. We will have Go-Go Snow on with us, and LaDonna, guys. LaDonna, we have been wanting to get her on, and next week on Dalton's birthday is a week. So I haven't been doing Whatnot shows because I have been in 3 people for the last week. I actually have gotten a few messages asking me when I'm coming back, and I got to see when my employees come back. I might go to Key West next week to go sourcing. I haven't decided yet. Well, I got to see when my employee comes back. Yeah, sourcing. I love their Salvation Armies in the Florida Keys. And of course, you know, while you're there. So I will have a video out tomorrow here and probably Thursday on my cat's treasure hunting. So watch them. Again, until my employees are back and I have help, I don't know that I can handle whatnot right now. I might get brave. I have dog clothes, really cute little dog clothes that I'm going to do. And then I also have Disney pen buttons that I need to do too.
Oh,
so,
fun.
and make sure you subscribe to these guys for sure. And all three of Rod's channels, Marsha put them. Marsha, he's trying to catch up with Dave. I think that's what's going on.
He's trying to catch up with Kevin too. Kevin's got like 800 channels too.
I don't know
And
what
owns
he'll
Bonanza, if you haven't.
Hey, he could have a dog. He could have a dog. Maybe he'll have a dog channel next. I don't know. I appreciate all of you guys coming. Thank you so much. If you're rewatching, the links to everybody's channels are down in the description. We appreciate you guys, and we will see you on the next one. Bye, guys.